All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. It's your brother Rabbi Knapp coming out with a lesson, Lord's will, edifying to the Lord's elect. Grab this article real quick. You know, I was watching, I've been following how Duck and Putin, you know, they're meeting. Here it is, he sends him over here to come visit America, and then he's sending jet planes over his head. Like that's supposed to scare Vladimir Putin. Don't you know there's a dead man switch? So even if you kill the president, your ass is getting destroyed too. So what's the point of acting like showing your power to someone that the Lord is gonna use to destroy you? There's no point. Okay, that show of power, your pomp, man, that shit don't, no one's scared of that shit, man. You go to Virginia, there's shit flying around all the time. It's just a bunch of noise. Okay? No one's scared of Duck, man. You know? These other nations, they're not scared of America. Maybe at one point, you know, after the Cold War, yeah, okay, you stop paying us, we'll stop fighting up against you. But it's not like that anymore. Joel chapter 3 and verse 9, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So that's what's happening, man. The men of war, the people who have militaries, they about to fight, man. Isaiah chapter 8, I start at the top. Moreover, the Lord said unto me, take thee a great roll and write in it with a man's pen concerning Mahar-Hash-Baz. And I took unto me faithful witnesses to record Uriah the priest and Zechariah the son of Jeberechiah. And I went unto the prophetess, and she conceived and bare a son. Then said the Lord to me, call his name Mahar-Shalal-Hash-Baz. For before the child shall have knowledge to cry, my father and my mother, the riches of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria shall be taken away before the king of Assyria. The Lord spake also unto me again, saying, for as much as this people refuseth the waters of Shiloah, that go softly and rejoice in Rezin and Remaliah's son, now therefore, behold, the Lord bringeth up upon them the waters of the river, strong and many, even the king of Assyria and all his glory, and he shall come up over all his channels and go over all his banks. And he shall pass through Judah, he shall overflow and go over. He shall reach even to the neck, and the stretching out of his wings shall fill the breadth of the land. O Emmanuel, associate yourselves, O ye people, and ye shall be broken in pieces, and give ear, all ye of far countries. Gird yourselves, and ye shall be broken in pieces. Gird yourselves, and ye shall be broken in pieces. So the point is, before your kid even be born, before you establish the things that you think is gonna happen, you know, that prophetess in Isaiah 8 is talking about his wife. Before you can enjoy all that, man, you know, these things are gonna happen, man. Okay? It says Isaiah 8 and 3, and I went to the prophetess, and she conceived and bare a son. Then said the Lord to me, call his name Mahar-Shalal-Hash-Baz. For before the child shall have knowledge to cry, my father and my mother, the riches of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria shall be taken away before the king of Assyria. So before you can enjoy the fruit of your labor, man, what's gonna happen, man? All these wars, man. And that's what we're right on the brink of. This is what they're getting prepared to do. While you in the mindset of mirth and, you know, being occupied in this world. Joel chapter 3. Hold on, am I finished? Isaiah 8 and 10, take counsel together, and it shall come to naught. Speak the word, and it shall not stand, for God is with us. Yeah, so whatever you do is not going to prevail against us. That's what's going to happen. But we understand that the word is going to prevail over all these councils that these heathen nations have coming together to have. You know, they might sit and come to Alaska and talk about peace in Ukraine. Those things are not going to come to pass. Okay, the only things that's going to come to pass is what the Lord said in the Bible. That's the only thing that's going to come to pass. And he already said there's only going to be one kingdom that's going to last forever, and it's the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so if I don't know what people are considering to last forever. This is not the kingdom of heaven, man. This is the kingdom of hell. If you want hell to prevail, it's not. It's not going to prevail. Sorry. Okay? It's not going to prevail. Jeremiah 46 and 1. The word of the Lord which came to Jeremiah the prophet against the Gentiles, against Egypt, against the army of Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, which was by the river Euphrates in Carchemish, which Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, smote in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. Let me get this precept. It's giving me 2 Kings. 2 Kings 23. Second Kings chapter 23. It's giving me the wrong precept. It's not the right. Maybe it's First Kings. A mistypo or something. First Kings only goes up to 22, so I don't know what it's It's saying go to 2 Kings 23 and 39, and there is no 39. It goes up to 37, so I don't know what my Bible's talking about. Jeremiah 46 and 3. Order ye the buckler and the shield, and draw near the battle. Harness the horses, and get up ye horsemen, and stand forth with your helmets. Furbish the spears, and put on the brigadines. So put on your armor, get ready for war, get the horses ready. You know, get all these things ready because the battle's about to happen. So that's what Jeremiah's prophesying about. That's what we're prophesying about. That's what Joel's prophesying about. He's saying there's going to be a war. And you waking them up. We waking them up by bringing out the words of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Joel chapter 3 verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. So these nations that are getting thermonuclear capability, that's the weak saying I am strong. Okay, look at Yemen. They're suffering famines. They don't got food, but they got missiles, man. They got missiles to shoot at American soldiers. So that just goes to show you, even these weaker nations still got some type of capability to fight up against this place. So all these nations that you see on TV, they can barely feed their families. They got missile capabilities. Hypersonic. If it's not hypersonic, they have some missiles that you gotta deal with. You know, with new technology. That's what they've been investing in. Instead of putting food in their mouth, they're getting prepared for war. And are people over here getting prepared for war? There's people joining the military right now. You can join at 46 years old. The U.S. military will get you into the army right now. They'll accept you. Who's going to fight for Babylon? Who's going to fight for America? A lot of you people ain't going to fight. But these other nations, they willing to fight. They're willing to fight. When someone's invading their land, you're going to be willing to fight. If somebody was invading America, you'd be willing to fight. That's why they willing to fight. See, the oppressor, man, look at him. He is all sodomites and everyone who, you know, you like to blow rod, come over here. They ain't going to fight, man. They just want to go for sex changes. Okay? No one's going to want to fight for these wicked-ass laws that are going here. And the people who are willing to fight are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and they rounded you up to go put you in the prison because they must think that, you know, drones are going to win this war. But it's not going to be fought like you think, like in past times, man. It tells you in the book of Isaiah what kind of war this is going to be. Y'all y'all going to be sent to war, of course, but you ain't going to really be a factor. Okay, where is it? I think it's Isaiah, the 5th chapter, where it talks about, I haven't grabbed it in a while. It might be Isaiah, the 9th chapter. Yeah. Isaiah 9, I'm going to start at the top. And 1, nevertheless, the dimness shall not be such as when was in her vexation, when at the first he lightly afflicted the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, and afterward did more grievously afflict her by the way of the sea beyond Jordan in Galilee of the nations. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them have the light shine. And the shadow of death is America. That's why y'all get put to death like that, man. This is the shadow of death. Okay? Thou hast multiplied the nations, thou hast multiplied the nation and not increased the joy. They joy before thee according to the joy in harvest, and as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. For thou hast broken the yoke of his burden and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor is in the day of Midian. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. And that's what's gonna happen, man. It's gonna be with burning and fuel of fire. You're gonna be going out there with your pea shooter and your M16 and with your war paint on your face, and for what? Your camouflage, for what, man? They got heat-seeking missiles. What you gonna do? You're gonna shoot? You look at the Ukrainians shooting at drones. They don't. It's not successful. They're not successful, man. That's why 5,000 people are dying every week. That's a lot of deaths, man. And they're already trying to train up children. I was watching some ads showing you, they already putting it in your minds. It was saying, if you want to work out, you should be doing military workout. That's what one of these commercials was saying, man. You should learn how to do military workouts. That's what they're telling you. Because they're insinuating you're going to be going to war soon. You're going to be going to war soon. If the Lord's not dealing with you, you're going to go fight for a country that's going to throw you into a meat grinder. Because I just read, Isaiah said it's going to be like fuel of fire. You're going to fight fire with bullets? Good luck with that. Isaiah 6 and 5 again. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Exactly. So good luck trying to fight a missile. Never mind the drone. The drone blows up and sends hundreds of bullets your way. Hundreds of pellets your way. And there's gonna be drones out here too. And they're gonna be shooting up your projects. They're gonna be just like it was in that movie, The Purge. They're gonna be coming after you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, calling you terrorists. That's what they're gonna be doing in the near future. Especially as he starts to go to war with Mexico and he starts to go to war with Canada. He ain't gonna tell the difference between you. You might look like one of them in his eyes. He might look at you and think you're one of the terrorists that got across the border. And a lot of y'all gonna try to be getting up out of here too. So there's gonna be a fight on both sides, and you're the enemy. Because he's gonna be coming down with great wrath upon you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay? Let's get back into Joel. Joel chapter 3. As a matter of fact, let's go to Isaiah 66. Let's get it, man. So that's what the Bible's talking about. It's talking about all this destruction, all this pain, all these lamentations, these mournings, these woes. And you worried about love, and no, man, love is telling the truth, man. Love is telling your people who they are in these last days. That's what love is. And the truth is, the place that you love so much is going to be destroyed. Now wrap your head around that one, and then you can learn something. That's the end of the story. Now, what am I supposed to do before that time? That's the question you need to get answered throughout through this Bible, man. Isaiah 66. I'll start at 14. It says, "And when ye see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb, and the hand of the Lord be known toward his servants, and his indignation toward his enemies." And indignation is righteous anger. So they deserve this punishment that's coming to them. Why do you think they deserved it? They earned it. They worked for it by kicking the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans' asses. Okay, they undefeated kicking your ass, man. And now he about to get wiped out. He about to be destroyed. The Lord ain't forget about that. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, y'all okay with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man ruling over you, but the Lord ain't. He said his people. He got a people that have been oppressed, just like his son was oppressed about 2 days ago in the eyes of the Lord. Imagine your son got put to death 2 days ago. How you gonna feel today? You gonna be happy, rejoicing, or you gonna be mad and can't wait till he come back and destroy the person who killed his son? That's revenge. That's vengeance. That's indignation. That's what's happening. That's what's coming to this place. Isaiah 66, verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. With flames of fire. So even the Lord has got his own fire kindling. He's going to be heating this place up too. Yahweh Shai is going to be shooting Babylon, stoning Babylon too. Something different with something you've never seen before. They might have depicted in the movies, but I don't even think the movies got a good, you know how you take a picture of something, it never shows you how good it actually is. Shalom Malak, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. You know, so, you know, you take a picture of a beautiful view, it don't really capture what it was like with your own eyes. When you see what Yahweh Shai is going to do to this place, words, pictures, movies won't even explain what you just saw. Okay, that's how terrible it's going to be when the Lord returns. Isaiah 66 and verse 16, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. So even he's going to have many. He said the slain of the Lord. So these are people for the Lord's going to slay them. Okay, y'all think the Lord's going to hug you? No, he's going to slay you. Okay, it's not, it's like the Heavenly Father is a man of war, according to Exodus, the 15th chapter. So I don't know what Lord y'all are waiting for. Y'all want to go to parties, y'all want to dance in clubs, and don't y'all want to do that? Well, keep doing that. You might as well party it up, man, because all that's coming to an end when the Lord returns. It's going to be order. You women, order. You men, order. You children, order. You're going to be keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. You're not going to be able to walk around being a damn sodomite all your life. Growing up, following the ways of the so-called white man, which is evil. Okay? He's the devil. And that's who runs this place. And a lot of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, y'all are wicked too. Y'all follow that damn devil. And that's why y'all going to die. Thus saith the Lord. Isaiah 66 in verse number 17. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh. Yeah, that's pork. You like to eat swine's flesh? And the abomination and the mouse. And I was watching a video, when it comes to the in the end, when shit gets, you know, when food is scarce and stuff, people gonna be eating some abominable food, man. Especially when there's not that much food left. You'll be surprised how many people start eating what the Lord's talking about here. You know, talking about cannibalism, that's all in the Bible. You'll be surprised somebody would do that. You don't see that, even though I'm sure it happens very rarely, but I'm sure it happens, you know. I was watching this video this Eve, man. She was driving around with her kids. They've been dead for days, man. Dead for days, driving around like an idiot. She's probably a witch. That's what witches do. Witches kill their kids, man. A lot of y'all practice witchcraft. When you go get an abortion, that's like a form of witchcraft, man. Rebellion against the Lord. And how many of y'all women did that? See, this is why you got to have this knowledge, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, so you will prevent yourself from putting yourself in a position like that. Okay? Isaiah 66. Let me read it again. In verse 17, they that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, that's pork, and abomination, and the mouse, and y'all gonna be eating the mouse, y'all are gonna be eating your kids. Okay? So this is gonna be fulfilled. Shall be consumed together, saith the Lord. So you're gonna be consumed in fire. You're gonna be burnt up. Okay? For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come, and I shall gather all the nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations, to Tarshish, Pul, and Lud, and draw the bow to Tubal and Javan, to the isles afar off, that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory. And they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles. And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto the Lord out of all nations, upon horses and chariots and in litters, and upon mules and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith the Lord, as the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel into the house of the Lord. And I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith the Lord, For as the new heavens and the new earth which I will make shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. This is the point. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be in a boring unto all flesh. So if you get burnt up over here, those who escape, they're gonna this gonna burn for a while, man. And it's people gonna look at that and think like, damn, man, those were some wicked ass people, man. Okay, and that's talking about here in America. All right, those who transgress the laws of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. Joel chapter 3 verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And that like we said, Putin already know he gonna be a buckler. He's sending jet planes over Putin's head. He gonna be sending hypersonic missiles over your head soon, man. Those jet planes, that's just old tech, man. Jet planes and stupid shit like that, man. Come on, they shooting that shit off the sky. Nobody's sending drones. The Ukraine, Russia got jet planes and shit. He ain't using that shit. He using drones. What he gonna waste the fuel for? He might as well keep the fuel for these missiles that he got. He can go trade it to your allies and make political moves with the fuel that Europe needs so much. He'd rather sell that to your allies. And through that, through the trading, hey, some of them are gonna switch up on you. They're gonna be like, why are we dealing with American fuel? We can get this Russian fuel for cheap. We can get Russian fuel for half the price dealing with Russia. It makes more economic sense. So your political allies, they're gonna switch up on you. Okay? Joel chapter 3 and verse 10 again, beat your plowshares and the swords, your plowshares. So the things that you would use for agriculture or other areas of your economy, turn that into a sword. Turn that into a sword. Turn that into missiles. That's why these people ain't got no food, but they got missiles. They got technology to fight. That's what they're getting ready to do. And you're pruning hooks into spears. Spears, swords, military capability. That's what their economics policy is turning into. War. They're getting prepared for war. They're beating their plowshares, their pruning hooks into spears, I should say. Let the weak say I'm strong. And that's why you see these different missiles being brought out pretty much all the time. All the time. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 1, the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. Okay, so that's not happening right now. People are not flowing to Jerusalem. Shouldn't a bunch of you be flowing to Jerusalem right now? If these people were the people, you should be flowing there if that's the children of Israel. You should want to know that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that they have about the Most High. But that's not happening. Okay, because they're not fulfilling prophecy because they're not the people. They're not the people in the book, sorry to say. Sorry to say, they're not. They don't fit the prophecies. Micah chapter 4, verse 1, but in the last days shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow into it. And many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountains of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and he will walk in his paths. And we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. So that's what Isaiah and Micah are talking about, okay? Or Micah's quoting Isaiah, or Isaiah's quoting Micah. So the Israelites understood that there was going to be a time where people were going to flow to learn about the Lord. There's not going to be a bunch of different gods, and nah, it ain't going to be like how it is today. Okay, you're going to know there's only one true God, because he's going to send his son to destroy this place like he always said. And people are going to repent from their idolatry, the rest of the heathen nations. Okay? Isaiah 2 verse 4, and he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nations shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So why are they still going to war if these are the people? They said nations shall not learn war anymore. There shouldn't be any more wars in the land. But the reason why that's happening, because they're not the people. That's Esau, Edom, who was created to take peace from the earth, according to Revelation, the 6th chapter. Okay? And that's what he's here to do, and he's doing a great job. He's doing a great job. As a matter of fact, the apostles and elders at Great Millstone was clapping for him yesterday, man. That's funny as hell. Look at that, man. You even got Israel rooting for Esau. Why? Because he's fulfilling prophecy. Why would we be mad with Esau? If he's fulfilling prophecy, that's what we want. Psalms 46 and 1, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear. Though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof, Salah, there is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. God is in the midst of her, she shall not be moved. God shall help her in that right early. God is in the midst of her. Her's talking about Israel, okay? We're like a woman to the Most High, okay? That's who he's in the midst of. The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved, he uttered his voice, the earth melted, okay? It's just that's all we're waiting for, and that's what's gonna happen. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Salah. Yes, the God of Jacob. Jacob is Israel. In Genesis, the 32nd chapter, when he fought an angel. Well, you got to fight to be Jake. If you're a Jake, you got to fight, man. Okay? You got to fight. This is a war, man. It's spiritual. Psalms 46 and verse 8. Come, behold the works of the Lord, what desolations he have made in the earth. Okay? Yeah, come behold it. Behold means look. Let's go watch the Lord destroy this place. And that's why the Lord brought us here, man. We're just witnesses to see the Lord's works, proclaim his name down here on the earth. And we're pretty much cheerleading for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Because this is his game. This is what he's doing. And he's fucking this place up little by little. And every little chunk he's breaking off a piece of, hey, we're witnessing it. Okay, but you got to be occupied in prophecy to enjoy these things, to be rejoicing of the Lord's works. Psalms 46 and verse 9. He maketh wars to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in the fire. So he's the one who's going to make the war to cease. Not Donald Duck, not Vladimir Putin. Or Zelensky or the European Union. They're not going to do shit. They're going to do exactly what the Lord told them to do, and that's go to war. He maketh the war cease, and he ain't going to have them make peace. He going to make them make war. He going to make them go to war. As Psalms 46 and 10, I'm going to finish the psalm. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. Okay, he's going to be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. So he's being exalted in the earth right now. But he's going to be also be exalted when all these heathen nations and their gods are put to shame. Okay, and that's coming. Ain't no one going to be saving you, man. Especially if you're not an Israelite and if you're not part of the elect. Okay, Psalms 46 and 11. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge, Salah. So that's what it is, man. Isaiah 2 and 5, O house of Jacob, come ye and let us walk in the light of the Lord. Okay, the light is this understanding, being obedient to the Lord. And that's talking to Israel. Come walk in the light of the Lord. He's inviting you, Isaiah. Isaiah 2 and 6, therefore thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they be replenished from the east, and are soothsayers like the Philistines, and they please themselves and the children of strangers. Their land also is full of silver and gold, neither is there any end to their treasures. Their land is also full of horses, neither is there any end of their chariots. Their land is also full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made. And the mean man boweth down, and the great man humbleth himself. Therefore forgive them not. Enter into the rock, and hide thee in the dust, for fear of the Lord, and for the glory of his majesty. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. You're going to see the Lord, he's going to be exalted in that day. He's talking about the day of the Lord, okay? You're not going to be self-gratifying yourself anymore. No, the day of the Lord is coming, and he's going to be exalted in that day. For the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. Okay, you lifted up, you're going to be brought low. Okay, you think, you know, your pride, man, your arrogancy, your scoffing, anything that's coming up against the Lord, that's going to be changed when you see this destruction come. And upon the cedars of Lebanon that are high and lifted up, and upon the oaks of Bashan, and upon all the high mountains, and upon all the hills that are lifted up, and upon every high tower, and upon every fenced wall, and upon all the ships of Tarshish, and upon all pleasant pictures. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. So all these governments, different religions, different, wherever is exalting itself, man, to be something, it's going to fail, it's going to fall to naught when the Lord returns, when he sends his son. Isaiah 2:18, and the idols he shall utterly abolish. Okay, well, that's what we're waiting for, man. The utter abolishment of idols. And that's what's going to happen when judgment and his manifestation is clear. When the sons of God are made manifest. All those idols are going to be confounded. And they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth for fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake it, is to shake terribly the earth. And he's going to shake terribly the earth with thermonuclear destruction. Okay? So Isaiah 24 tells you it's going to rock to and fro like a drunkard. In that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats. So you're going to be throwing your idols. The things you believed in, you're going to throw that behind you, man. You ain't going to believe that shit anymore. Clearly, you're going to know there's a God in Israel. Okay? To go into the clefts of the rocks and into the tops of the ragged rocks, for the fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. Yeah, you're going to be giving up your idols then. Then you're going to know who the true God of Israel is. Because a lot of people, they don't believe in the Lord. That's why they just walk in abominations. Okay? And they need to be condemned. They need to be condemned. And they're going to be condemned when the judgment comes. But if you don't know the Lord, then hey, you can walk around and do whatever the hell you want. Oh, by the way, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, y'all are the Israelites in the Bible, by the way, in case you didn't hear that today. Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 22, Cease ye from man whose breath is in his nostrils, for wherein is he to be accounted of? Okay, for wherein is he to be accounted of? Okay? But let's go back to Joel, the 3rd chapter. Okay. I didn't really want to read the whole chapter, but why not? Why not? Why not read it? You know, so that's some of the things. Actually, am I done? I think I'm done with that. Micah chapter 4 and verse 3, and he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords in the plowshares and the spears and the pruning hooks. Nations shall not lift up a sword against nations. He said, shut the fuck up, and walked away. Hey, every idle word shall a man say they're going to have in the time of judgment. That's Esau. Esau Edom, the so-called white man. He hates the Lord. As Micah chapter 4 in verse number 4. But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts have spoken it. So it's been spoken. Listen, it's like you can't even, Esau, you out of here, man. You out of here. Dude got a red face. It's fucking 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock in the morning. He's already drunk out of his mind, man. He's drunk out of his mind. He hates the Lord. Hates him. But I'm glad you come by, scarf at the altar, the water Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. The water Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Isaiah 24:1. Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. So he's scattering abroad the inhabitants thereof by destroying Babylon, just like he did in Genesis, I believe the 11th chapter, when he destroyed Babylon. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. So everyone's going to feel it. Everyone's going to be affected by the judgments. Okay? Isaiah 24:3, the land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for the Lord hath spoken this word. So it's going to be emptied and spoiled, man. Because that's the word of the Lord, and we're all waiting for that day. The believers, we're all waiting for it. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. And he's a haughty, proud person, drunk, angry, because his kingdom's fading away. He ain't got nothing better to do but to drink still reserved early in the morning. He probably started 3 or 4 hours ago. He's already on the path to destroy himself, man. Probably pissing on himself. Okay? Because this place is languishing. See, back in the 1950s, you can buy a house, $20,000, a car, $5,000, your wife at home, kids at home, playing in the front yard. You can talk mad shit to the so-called black man, blow, the firefighters used to, open the holes on the so-called black man. That was his heyday. That's what he wished it was still like. He can hang you. He's still hanging you, but not as much as he used to. Because the Lord, he's making him, he's bringing him low. Okay. And more are men coming out and they're teaching the word. So I might not have been the first person he saw teaching this word. So that same spirit is haunting him. That's Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua putting that spirit on him, man. Making him go drink some more. Isaiah 24:5, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Yeah, it's defiled under the inhabitants. The people who rule this earth, they're defiling the world. That's why the people are, everyone should be in a good state, man. Everyone should have a little bit of money, their own land, teaching their own kids, not having to bring them to these stupid schools, spending all their money going to learn nothing at his university. No, that shouldn't be like that, man. You should be flourishing. But why is it like that? Why are they homeless people? Why are people asking for change? Why are they drinking and getting drunk? Why is it like that? It's because of the inhabitants of the earth. Who runs the earth? Is it the so-called white man? Yeah, it is. Is it the so-called black man? I don't own nothing. Is it so-called Latino, Native American man? No. It's Esau, Edom. Isaiah 24:6, therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. That's right, man. Few men. You can see that too, man. Not the destruction, of course, but there's only a few men left. And what makes you a man? Going to work every day, giving your wife half of your shit when you go to divorce court, letting your kids talk to you like shit. No, that don't make you a man. That makes you a girl. Men didn't live in a house for 30 years, paid off with a mortgage. Nah, men went to war. Okay, but it tells you in the Bible, a man is keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. And there's very few men doing that. Isaiah 24 and verse 7, the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry hearted do sigh. Yeah, the new wine, this Western philosophy is new. It's languishing because you're starting to see this shit don't bring you nothing, man. You can't even buy a house under this new wine. With the old wine, you got crops, you got wells of water, you got multiple women, beautiful children. You're stoning the whore to death. This kingdom, whores all over the place. Adultery, pick and choose, man. Everyone's doing it. This place needs to be destroyed, man. The new wine is mourning. Isaiah 24 and 8, the mirth of tabret ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. And that's why Esau was mad. He goes into the bars, he probably sees other Latinos and Native Americans drinking in the same bar he was in, man. He's feeling like a minority. It is what it is. East Boston, maybe, I'll say maybe 40, 50 years ago, maybe he probably was here. Probably a whole bunch of white people. Who knows, man? Then he saw it change over time. Now he's drinking every day to try to cope with it. He don't feel like he used to. Probably ran some business telling people what to do. The Lord took it away from him. Okay? But the tabrets, the noise, the music, it's not, you can't rejoice in this kingdom anymore. It's nothing fun. Who wants to pay $30 for a margarita you can make at home? Plus there's plastic and everything, man. Come on. Getting headaches. The wine got all these different additives in it. There's nothing pure. Everything's defiled. From your wine to your liquor, to your food, to your women, to the men. Your knowledge is defiled. Everything, the air, the plants, everything, the ground, defiled, man. Okay, it's all defiled. And it's because the people who rule this place, they push the vibration on the rest of the people. Now, if the Lord was ruling, all that wickedness that you see, those people would be cut off. They wouldn't be able to walk freely down your street. They wouldn't do that. That's what he did with Sodom and Gomorrah. People understood, hey, that's not the way to live. The Lord don't like that. Well, this is the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, according to Revelation, the 11th chapter. Isaiah 24, in verse 9, they shall not drink wine with a song, strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. Yes, they shall not drink with a song. Let's go into bars and clubs. They ain't gonna be having all of that. And that strong drink is being bitter because you can't rejoice being drunk anymore. You come in the park and you get drunk, you go to bed, you pee on yourself. What kind of life is that? Okay, those times are over. There's nothing to rejoice about. Everything's costing more. That's languishing. You can't even go on vacation anymore. You used to go on vacation once a year. Now that's turned into 2 times a year, or 2 times or 1 time every 2 years. You know? It's languishing. Isaiah 24 and verse 10, the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. And the city of confusion is America. Because Babylon means confusion. And this place is confused. Okay? And that's why you hear a lot. That's why you look at people, man. They're confused. Some people don't even know the difference between a man and a woman. What's a man? What's a woman? I don't know. You got bikes and cars on the same street. That's how confused it is. It's two white women just went into the street where there's cars, man. They had all this road right here, and they rather go into the street. That's called confusion. That's stupid. That's dumb. And that's what the earth is, man. It's confused. It's dumb, man. I wish y'all saw that. A whole damn road you could ride your bike on, and 2 Edomite women are in the middle of the street, almost got hit by a car. That's confusion. That's how stupid this place is, man. When you really look at it, it doesn't make any sense. Isaiah 24 and verse 11. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. Yeah, it's not even fun anymore. It's Sunday. Y'all should be getting ready. You know, maybe tonight you should have had a date. You know, Sunday, you know, back in the day, you go take your girl to the movies, maybe the bowling alley, you know, go do something what you used to do. Ain't nobody doing that shit anymore, man. I was driving in Brockton, man. The whole Westgate lanes is fucking. That shit used to be popping all through the weekend, man. There was nobody there, man. And the shit's still open. That's languishing. Las Vegas, Nevada. Everyone should be going over there gambling. That's just languishing. Okay? Your bars, your clubs. There's people. I'm looking at a restaurant right now. It's fucking 3 people outside. It's a big ass place too, and only 3 people outside, man. Languishing. But there's people drunk on these streets though in the park. When I got here, a couple people were fighting behind me. Probably fighting over the last sip of their vodka or something. Their tequila. Isaiah 24:12. In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. And the city is left desolation. How you doing? You know, and the gate is smitten with destruction. And the gate normally represents your leadership, your nobility. That's being smitten. Look at Donald Duck today, man. He talks like a child. You know, you should have saw if you remember how him and Biden that showed that he's a child, man. Who talks like he tweets out shit to different countries? That shit's childish at a very high level, man. No one can believe these shits are going on. But that vibration is being pushed down on the rest of the people. Y'all be tweeting, doing the same childish shit that he does. Y'all think that shit's funny. Y'all laugh at stupid child shit like that. Imagine your doctor said you got cancer. Nah, I'm just playing. That's the type of world we living in, man. I'm just joking. You know, you need to be an adult in a position like that. But he's not. He's a child. Because he's an Edomite. Isaiah 24 in verse 13. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree and as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. And that's talking about those thermonuclear missiles. Okay? Like a shaking of a tree. They fall. That's what's going to happen here in Babylon. Okay? These different nations are going to bend the bow and they're going to shoot nukes on this place. Okay? That's the prophecy. He's giving me a precept in my Bible. I'm going to go check this out real quick. Go check this out. Isaiah 17. I said at the top, the burden of Damascus. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap. The cities of Aurora are forsaken, and they shall be for flocks, which shall lie down, and none shall make them afraid. The fortress also shall cease from Ephraim, and the kingdom from Damascus, and the remnant of Syria, and they shall be as the glory of the children of Israel, saith the Lord of hosts. And in that day it shall come to pass that the glory of Jacob shall be made thin, and the fatness of his flesh shall wax lean. And it shall be as when the harvestman gathereth the corn, and reapeth the ears with his arm, and it shall be as he that gathereth ears in the valley of Riphrah. Yet gleaning grapes shall be left in it, as the shaking of an olive tree, 2 or 3 berries in the top of the uppermost bough, 4 or 5 in the outmost fruitful branches thereof, saith the Lord God of Israel. So that's talking about a remnant. At that day shall a man look to his maker, and his eyes shall have respect to the Holy One of Israel. And that's what's going to happen with Israel, man. Well, that's what's happening right now. Okay? They're getting this word. They're repenting. They're getting in line with the Lord's will. More and more. Standing on their feet for the Lord. Showing you what side that they're on. They're not going to be like the rest of these people. You don't know what side they're on. You don't know if they're batting left or right. You don't know if they deal with men or women. This place is all backwards, man. That's that confusion. You might think you're looking at a beautiful woman, and that's a man with his rod chopped off. So this is the world that we living in, man. This needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed, and how it gets fixed is through destruction. Because abominations need to be destroyed. And this kingdom is an abominable kingdom, and it needs to be destroyed. Isaiah 24 in verse 14, they shall lift up their voice, they shall sing for the majesty of the Lord, they shall cry aloud from the sea. Wherefore glorify ye the Lord in the fires, even the name of the Lord, God of Israel, in the isles of the sea. From the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs, even glory to the righteous. But I said, my leanness, woe unto me. The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously, yet the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. And that's how Esau's dealt with you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. He's dealt treacherously with you. He could have kept it fair. He already robbed and spoiled you. He already got you speaking his language. You already don't know who you are. He could have gave you a crumb. He could have gave you something. What does he give you? He gives you these stupid holidays that the Lord told you not to celebrate. But y'all celebrate these wicked holidays. The Lord ain't tell you to celebrate these holidays. Caribbean Day and all that. You ain't supposed to do that. You ain't supposed to do that. Okay? You're supposed to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, even when you're in exile. Even when you're in a different land you ain't supposed to be in. You're supposed to keep it. It don't matter where the Lord sends you. You're supposed to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments everywhere you go. But you don't, so you're going to die. Isaiah 24:17, fear in the pit, in the snare are upon thee, O inhabitants of the earth. Yeah, that snare it's this trap, man. It's this place, man. Snare, that's all this place is. It's a snare, man. You know, everything's a snare. Everything you eat, everything, man. This whole place is defiled. And the best thing to do, the way to walk to get around the snares is keep these law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, man. Please the Lord. Glorify him in the fires, man. Through your affliction. That's what the best thing you could be doing is glorifying the Lord. The best way you can. Come up on street corners, glorify the Lord there. Put it on the internet, glorify the Lord there. He needs to be glorified. All right? Because he's about to bring forth destruction. Okay? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 48, verse 43. Fear in the pit and the snare shall be upon thee, O inhabitants of Moab, saith the Lord. He that fleeth from the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that getteth up out of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For I will bring upon it, even upon Moab, the year of their visitation, saith the Lord. So Moab is a so-called Chinese man. That was the precept in my Bible. So the Lord's talking to Moab too. Okay? Whatever he's up to, you escape the pit, you go into the snare. You escape the snare, you're going into the pit. So it's a lose-lose for Moab. Okay? Isaiah 24:18, and it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. So good luck trying to get out of that. Okay? The Lord's making it impossible for you to survive unless you come to him. You have to be in a repentant state, man. You got to accept the knowledge of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, or you got a snare or a pit. You choose. Okay? Just like it says in Amos. Let me grab that. I haven't grabbed that in a while. Amos chapter 5. At verse 16, I'll start up from 16. Actually, I'll start at 15. Amos 5:15. Hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. It may be that the Lord God of hosts will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph, which is the northern kingdom, Joseph. Therefore the Lord, the God of hosts, the Lord saith thus, wailing shall be in all streets, and they shall say in all the highways, alas, alas. And they shall call the husbandmen to mourning, and such as are skillful of lamentation to wailing. And in all vineyards shall be wailing, for I will pass through thee, saith the Lord. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Yeah, you desire the day of the Lord like he's not coming to bring judgment. And you ain't never repented. You believing in an idol. So woe means death and destruction. You want the day of the Lord to come. The day of the Lord is to destroy everything that you see. Okay? He's destroying all the. You think the Lord's cool with homosexuality? All these damn wicked abominations. He ain't down for that. Putting pork in everything, eating pork, eating shrimp, crab, and lobster, not following the dietary laws in Leviticus, the 11th chapter. You think the Lord's cool with all that? No, you love that. That's why you're gonna be destroyed. You love eating these abominations. Those things were created to clean up the earth. That's why your cities stink. That's why your sea stinks, because you're eating what's supposed to clean the earth. So you're part of the problem. So he's going to destroy you and everyone else like you. And then this world can flourish. Amos 5:18 again. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? Yeah, what end is it for you? You going to be saved or you going to be destroyed? Which one is it? We're going to see. What end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Darkness is destruction. It's not going to be a beautiful day when the Lord returns. Okay? Like I said, one day with the Lord is 1,000 years here on earth, and it's been 2 days since his son died. You think he's happy about this place? 2 days. He remembers his son just went up on the cross, and you think he's coming to hug you after he was crucified by the Romans. And the Romans are still in power today. So they got judgment coming to them. But you want Rome to continue. Now the Lord's going to destroy Rome. He's tired of these Romans, the Idumeans, the Edomites. They ruled long enough. Now it's time for them to go into slavery. Amos 5:19. And if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. That's what it's going to be like. You're going to escape one judgment to inevitably get into another one, man. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it? So Amos is really showing you, man, like it's very dark. Very dark, man. Not just dark, very dark. Okay, that's the day of the Lord. You expecting that day to come? No, you expecting another beautiful day. It's going to be a beautiful week all week. It's going to be nice weather all week. Low humidity. Okay? But the day of the Lord is going to be darkness because this place is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles. Okay? Amos 5:21. I despise your feast days. I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. So, good luck trying to give him some weird sacrifices, man. He's not hearing your solemn assemblies. He's not hearing that, man. All those songs you be singing, he's not for it, man. Okay. Isaiah 24:19, the earth is utterly broken down, the earth is clean dissolved, the earth is moved exceedingly. And that's going to come through thermonuclear destruction. Okay, that's what's going to cause the earth to rock to and fro like a drunkard. As it says here, Isaiah 24:20, the earth shall rail to and fro like a drunkard and shall be removed like a cottage. And the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. When was the whole world shaken to and fro like a drunkard? That's a prophecy. That never happened yet. And Isaiah's talking about that. So don't think the Old Testament has no prophecies that need to be fulfilled. The whole earth hasn't moved to and fro like a drunkard. There's earthquakes that's been happening, but did the whole earth feel it? No. But it's going to happen. Okay? Isaiah 24:21, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. So the people who rule this world, this kingdom, you're going to feel it, man. You're the high ones. You're on high. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited. So you're going to be brought low. You're going into captivity, okay, for 1,000 years. That's many days for what you did to the nation of Israel. Then you're going to get burnt up, executed, death row. Isaiah 24:23, then the moon shall be confounded and the sun ashamed when the Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem and before his ancients gloriously. And I'm going to end it right there. Well, that was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Badash, Shalom, Baba Bar, Kwam Yasharala.